What did doc say?
It's just some inflammation, mild sprain of the knee.
Okay.
Nothing major.
That's good.
Yeah. She was like, so how long after your 100-mile was this MRI? And I was like, well, it was like 6 weeks after the 100-mile, but only like a week after my 75-mile.
Yeah.
And she's like, what?
Wait, what?
I proceeded to tell her that, I ran a 75-mile like a week before that.
Oh, perfect.
And she's like, oh.
Well, that makes sense.
Well, that actually makes me feel better about the results because some of the fluid and inflammation was probably from that. I said, oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
She's like, well, how's it felt since? And I'm like, well, since then I've walked a 21-mile through the mountains.
Yeah, what'd she say?
She's like, you need to rest.
Yeah.
That was the only thing that she really had to recommend.
I think we're both in a little bit of season of rest right now.
Yeah.
We need to.
Highly recommended rest.
Yeah. Well, I say that, and we're on Tuesday, and I'm already 4 workouts in.
Well.
So today's.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just they're scaled back right now.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, you can do workouts, but a workout is walking or a workout is a 10-mile run. So.
Yeah. I'm about to buy a plate carrier.
Yeah?
Yep.
To do some weighted rucks?
Yeah, or walks with the family.
Mm-hmm.
So just to build my legs up some more.
I think that's a good idea. I asked Mark when we were on his 200-mile journey if he felt like he had trained enough, and he said yes and no. He felt like he had trained enough, but he wished that he would have trained more with more weight because he was doing a lot of weighted stuff. But he's like, instead of doing 20 pounds, I feel like I should have been doing 40.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm debating whether to buy the 20 or the 30-pound plate carrier. So,
I mean,
we'll see.
Yeah. How much does your pack weigh when you're...
Like 8 pounds.
That's not that much.
No.
Even with the full water in the back?
Yeah. I try to travel as light as possible.
Yeah.
So, 8
It just always looks like you're carrying the kitchen sink.
Well, it's because that's layers. That's layers. That's clothing.
Yeah.
So, but the non-negotiable, I'll always have a knife in the pack.
There you go.
And always a way to start fire, no matter where I go in the woods. So
that's just wise.
Yeah. But yeah, welcome back to the Suffer Up Podcast with Nate and Ryan. Welcome. We are coming back from a really busy stint from your 100-miler in January, February, 75 miles at the Florida Death Race. In between that, I ran a 60K.
That was in March. The Florida Death Race was in March.
Florida Death Race was in March. My 60K was in February.
Yeah. Punch Out was in February.
And now we're in the end of March, and we just finished pacing, crewing for our good friend Mark during his 200-mile Southern States. He finished and did it. We're not going to disclose any of that because we're going to wait for him to get on the podcast, and we'll get his story along with his wife Stacy's story all wrapped up in that podcast. So it's going to be good.
Yep.
Some upcoming events that we can go ahead and announce. It's a ways out, but in October, the end of Watch Memorial Ruck that happens in Santa Rosa County will be in October. We will get the dates put out on that for you guys to sign up. I will be out there. I'll have to take off work, but I'm going to be out there to do it. And I got a few guys from or at least one guy from the fire department that said that they'd come out.
Heck yeah.
And do it. So probably going to do the 42-hour one.
I think it's 48.
Is it 48?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's 24 or 48.
Okay.
And you can do them individually or as a team or partner.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a team or partner, but
10-pound minimum, 20-pound recommendation because that's the average weight of a law enforcement officer's duty belt and chest rig, or 30 pounds. So they pretty much, I mean, you can carry as much weight as you want, but minimum's 10, recommended is 20. So throw 20 pounds in a backpack or bring your plate carrier and come out and do it with us. So I'm excited. I haven't done it yet, but I would know what it's like walking for 24 hours. So it's going to be a fair challenge rucking for that long. So yeah, I plan to do that. That'll be also a good training for 100-mile season in the fall. So
you said that's in October?
That's in October. So it'll be after your
100
that I plan to run in September, Georgia Jewel.
Yep.
So
any of you listeners looking to do a 100-miler, come out and run the Georgia Jewel with Nate.
Yep.
I'll be out there crewing them, pacing them.
Yep. It's going to be a good time.
Mostly pacing.
I'm stoked. Got to get some elevation though in Florida.
Yeah. I got to find some hills to run.
That, or I'm just going to do the Stairmaster. Or this morning I did 3 miles with 20 pounds, 15% incline for 3 miles. So
that's good.
Yeah. It was it was tough.
Yeah.
I can tell I
Fair
need
challenge.
more elevation training. So
yeah, well, you didn't get much of that on your pacing.
We're going to go out this summer though and do it.
Nate drew the short stick on the pacing.
It's just how it worked out
for the southern states. Yeah, you got to pace all on the road mostly.
It wasn't the funnest section, but we got through it. It's hard to keep things entertaining when you're like fearful for your life of getting ran over the whole time.
Zoom. Yeah. Every time I'd call you, I'd hear something go by. I'm like, dude, that sounded like it was right next to you. And you're like, yep, it was.
Well, there was like, I don't know, probably 10 miles, what felt like on the side of the interstate.
Yeah.
It was a state highway, but it was
those cars
4
were
lanes.
Flying.
Yeah. Semis, log trucks, like, no, it was
it's like
not
some Final
safe.
Destination thing.
Yeah, if I ever run that race, we're going to go through that section in the daylight. Like,
oh, yeah.
I'm going to make it a point to run the first 100 miles as fast as I can to get through that section in the daylight. Because at night, no, sir.
No.
That's no fun. But anyway, welcome back, guys, to the Suffer Up Podcast with Nate and Ryan. And today we are going to be talking about kind of a trend or theme, more or less the highs and lows of life and how you flip the switch. Last night I was talking to my wife, Lauren, and I said, what do you want to hear about? She's like, basically brought this point up. Like, how do you transition from work to home? And we're also going to discuss kind of the highs and lows during race season, as we've experienced. You run 100 miles or you run a 75 miler, or you just run an ultra. You're on this high, and then there is kind of a low that follows afterwards, which is kind of strange to think about, but we're going to open that up. And then we're also going to just kind of navigate what it looks like to go from work to home, and kind of that switch that we have to do as men, but also as women, to just be present at home when it's time to be home. So with that, we also just want to give a very special thank you to our sponsor, Soft Socks. Soft Socks makes a compression fitting sock for your feet. They are a toe sock, American and veteran-owned company here in the US of A. We love them and wear them on all of our long runs. We do have a discount code for them. It is SUFFER10 to receive 10% off at checkout. Go to the link tree in the description of this podcast to find Soft Socks website. Support them. And they also have the Savage Loop this weekend that we're going to be out at over in the Niceville area. So if you'd like to come out and support the Savage Loop, do so.
Yep.
But this will launch. I shouldn't have said that. This episode's going to launch after the Savage Loop. So we'll be sure to let you know how the Savage Loop went. So anyway.
If you'd like to come out, it's too late.
It's too late. Sorry, guys. Next year. So flipping the switch. What does that mean to you, Ryan?
I always think of it as like decompression time, because you're at work, everybody's at work and has some stressful stuff, but specifically in the first responder military world, it seems like you're going to have a bit of a higher stress job, and you're carrying that stress throughout the shift and kind of thriving off of it or surviving off of it. You know, you use that and perform, but when you come home, you don't need to do that. So I always thought of my drive home as like my decompression time to decompress that stress and kind of just chill back out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not in a fight or flight response mode anymore. I can just relax. And for me, I almost always lived a good ways away from my work. So my drive home was long enough that was pretty good.
Yeah.
And if I lived closer at some point, I would drive home and like get a shower or something. And that was my time to kind of be alone, away from the work people, away from the family, and just reset myself mentally.
Yeah.
But I think it's really important to do something like that. Otherwise, I mean, there's tons of statistics out there about first responders and divorce and all sorts of other bad things. But I think a lot of that's just due to them carrying that stress home.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. It's interesting because I just recently talked to this with my coach, my life coach, Jeremy Vandelinder with Sovereign Consulting. We talk once a week, and I had a little episode a couple weeks ago where, call it what you want to call it, but anxiety was high. I was coming home stressed, all that kind of stuff, and it stems outward, whether you want to accept it or not, or whether you want to believe it or not.
Yeah.
But one thing he asked me was, what's something that you do to try to like de-escalate your mind? And so one thing that I kind of discovered through that conversation with him was it's okay to feel anxious, even though the Bible says that we should be anxious for nothing, but with everything with prayer and supplication, let your requests be made known unto God. It's okay to feel that anxiety, but how are you navigating it? Like, it's okay to feel angry, but acting on your anger or allowing your anger to dictate your responses is not okay. And so I think you can apply those same principles when you have a stressful day at work or a hectic day or you've got compounding issues. If you're not voicing those things to somebody or walking through decompression steps, and like the act of the anxiety or whatever is not it doesn't mean anything's wrong with you. It's just a byproduct of the stimulus that you've been exposed to. And so with that, he asked me, what are some steps that you do to bring yourself back to home plate, so to speak? And one of the biggest things that I do is I do a lot of breathing techniques to try to like calm my brain, reorganize my thoughts. I'm big on trying to stay in a rhythm and a habit of like my morning routine. We've talked about that on the podcast multiple times. And then before I come in, because as soon as my truck hits the road that my house lives on, it's like my kids know, and they're in the driveway. So there's zero from the time that the truck stops moving, I have to be in dad mode. And I have about a 20-minute drive from work. I usually give the kids like a little hug, but then the first thing I do is I go home and I give Lauren a hug. And like that is kind of like my safe space. Like I give her a hug for as long, and she's really good about it because we talked about it. Like she doesn't let go of the hug until I'm ready to let go, which if you didn't know this, the Disney characters do the same thing. Because apparently a lot of kids don't get true hugs. I didn't realize, like it makes really sense, sad. But kids, and so I've seen videos. From being
funny to sad. Thanks.
Well, yeah, fair. But I've seen kids like at these Disney characters, they give them a hug or whatever, and the kid doesn't let go.
Man.
Like, and so they're trained to like hug the kid until the kid's done hugging. And so we kind of almost adopted that. Like Lauren won't really like let go until. So
your wife treats you like she's a Disney princess.
She's the Disney princess. I'm the neglected child. So, but I think there's some validity to that. But that's my process. Like I come home, I give her a hug, then she'll ask me how the shift went. And we're way better about communicating now. Like I'll tell her, hey, rough night, I ran this. Or, this is bothering me at work. I'm stressed out because of this. Like voicing those things, she's able to help me more and be a little more gracious of like, okay.
Rough night, I broke down the wrong door.
Nate's going to want coffee. Yeah, there's that. Nate's going to want coffee when he comes in. He's probably going to be hungry, and she'll like meet those simple needs. And that's part of building that community around whatever you're doing and working together as a team. So,
or like I ran a call all night. Obviously Nate's going to want some sleep.
Yeah. So sleep is a luxury right now with our lifestyle with the kids, but I also am aware that, okay, Nate's sleep deprived. Nate's going to be a little grumpy. It's just part of it.
It's natural.
It's natural, even though I'm fairly well adapted to sleep deprivation. And so it's just almost, the expectation has been set. And I think sometimes first responders, military, there's unrealistic expectations set oftentimes.
Yeah.
And you just think that everything's going to be roses and rainbows, but it's not. It's ugly. So let's figure out the best way as a team to keep this thing as positive forward going as possible. So that's kind of like the main tactic. But yeah, it's a lot of just navigating it together as a team. But if you don't have a team, you have to adopt strategies to control your mind. Because if you don't control your mind, then, or your tongue, like the Bible says, then it steers the whole ship,
I think that a lot of people, if they're listening and they're not married or something, and they're like, I don't have that team, I don't have that opportunity. You do. You just don't realize it. You still have to be open and accountable to somebody. Yeah. So like in our case, our wives would hold us accountable, and we would want to be open with them to do that. If you're a single person out there, you've got other people on the department, you've got friends and stuff. You probably got somebody in your life, your mom, your dad, whatever, that you can talk to about these things.
Yeah.
And they can hold you accountable. You've got to be able to talk to somebody. And if you don't have somebody to talk to, reach out to us, reach out to a long lost friend, go to church, find somebody there. I mean, find somebody that you can talk to and become accountable to, because that's I think one of the biggest parts of this.
Yeah.
It's having someone there in your corner and knowing that they're there in your corner, whether you're going through a rough spot or not. You said earlier that like about being anxious, like it's okay. It is okay. And it's normal. I think that's a better way of putting it. Like it's normal. Everybody's going to go through this, even if you work a normal, like quote unquote normal job, like an accountant or something. That's my go-to example. An accountant's just like a normal
watched
job.
That movie. That guy's not normal.
No, maybe not the movie version of the accountant.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you work some regular job at a grocery store or an accountant, whatever, you know, you're still going to have periods of your life and stressors that come up and you're going to feel anxious, and that is normal. It's okay. You've got to have somebody that you're able to talk about that with and that can kind of help you get through that. But you also have to have some of those tools in your tool belt that you can use on your own. Like you're saying, like, what are your methods of doing this? And kind of going off on a separate subject here, the military community has a slightly different dilemma, I guess you'd call it.
Sure.
Because every day they come home when they're stationed here, every day they come home, and I'd say their stress is lower than that of like a first responder. But then they go out and get deployed, and their stress is like extremely high all the time.
Yeah.
Whether you're on a ship, like an aircraft carrier, where you're constantly watching your back and keeping your head on a swivel, as they say, to make sure you don't get run over by a jet or blown off the side of the ship, or if you're in a combat zone, whatever, like stresses are super high, and it's like that 24/7 for however long you're there. 2 weeks, a month, 6 months, 8 months, whatever. And then you come home and man, talk about a hard transition. Go from months of that level of stress to home. And that is tough, but it's also manageable. You've got to be able to manage it while you're out there. And like, yes, it's a super stressful environment, but how can I manage that stress and lower it so I'm not constantly in that fight or flight? And then when you get back home, you still got to adopt the same methods that we're talking about and figure out, well, how do I tell my body and my brain that, you know, we're safe here?
Yeah.
And just know that process might take longer. It might look a little different than a first responder's, or look different than your own process did when you were stationed home. Like you're coming back from a long period of time with high stress. It's going to take a longer period of time to decompress.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Right.
Yeah. Just wanted to talk about that difference because I think that gets a lot of military guys in a panic, I guess, thinking like, oh, I'm back. I should be okay. And I'm not. Like, dude, relax. It's going to take some time.
Right. It's true. You know, everybody is a byproduct of whatever they've been exposed to.
Of course.
So, you know, you take a child who grew up in a loving home, parents that love them, you know, they had everything that they needed. They didn't have to worry about where their next meal was coming from. That child is going to turn out a little bit different than somebody who parents didn't make any money. Maybe they're wrapped up in drugs and abusive. You know, they're going to be way more typically on the defensive survival mode. And so like their stimulus level for the second child I referenced is going to be completely different than the first child. The first child's had, you know, roses and rainbows. I've said that twice now. Roses and rainbows pretty much its entire life and has never met any form of adversity, which is great. I want that for my kids. However, I also want to try to train them to be able to handle stress.
Yeah.
And you can do the hard, like we're doing it with Lexi right now. You know, it's really hard for her to do, like, let go of control with certain things. And like we acknowledge, like, hey, you're doing a hard thing. Like, this is brave for you, and recognizing those things within. But all of that, what you're stimulated with or by, whatever bothers you, whatever is like attacking you, that's okay that that's happening, but how are you responding to it internally and externally? We can look at scripture and say, like, we should be anxious for nothing because we should give all of our cares to God. We should also share burdens with one another. The Bible is very clear on that.
Yeah.
And sharing each other's burdens and helping each other through this life, because that's what God's commanded us to do. So we're not perfect creatures or beings, so it's okay to feel these things. But if you're not following the way that you should in these ways, then it's going to have a negative outcome. I'd rather take a negative stimulus and turn it into a positive outcome than for me to take a negative stimulus and let it eat me and beat me down.
Yeah.
Which literally ties in with who we are at Suffer Up.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're taking the hand that you're dealt and you're going to make the best out of it, or you're going to let it ruin you.
Right.
I mean, I think if you say that, everybody listening would go, well, yeah, I don't want to do that second option. I want to make it as best as possible. But it's sometimes easier, or it feels easier in the moment to just like wallow in self-pity and go the victim route and let your circumstances dictate your mood and who you are. Because the thing about suffering up is that takes some work.
Yeah.
Either way, you're going to suffer. But one way, you don't put in any work now and you suffer for a longer period of time, or one way you put in some work up front and it's less and you learn and you grow.
Yeah.
So like they're both going to take work, but one is very obvious, like, oh man, that's going to take work right now. And people don't want to do that.
No.
But what they don't realize is it's going to suck for a lot longer if you don't.
Yeah.
This is going to drag out. This is going to affect other areas of your life. I mean, there's plenty of guys that are in military or first responder that have ended up losing their families, losing their jobs, losing all sorts of other stuff down the road because they didn't deal with something when it was small.
Yeah.
They let it grow and grow and grow. They turned to drugs or gambling and then gambled all their money. I mean, like losing so much more stuff than just talking to somebody and dealing with it initially.
Yeah.
On the same note, stick around to the end of the episode. We're going to talk about a upcoming thing that we are doing, partnering with somebody in this same space that we're talking about right now. But I just want to hit on that while I remembered.
That's fine.
But yeah, just you got to deal with the stuff when it's small. Otherwise, it's going to grow. It's going to become out of control. It's like a snowball rolling downhill.
It's true. And I think I gravitate. I know okay, listeners, I know we talk about running a lot. Okay. And I hear you. I've heard, I've got the commentary. I understand we talk about it a lot. However, I'm telling you guys, having been through all sorts of stuff, there are very few things that you can electively put yourself, is that a word? Electively? Yeah. Electively put yourself in. Voluntarily put yourself in that creates a healthy form of adversity and lessons are learned from it. Yeah. And ultra running does that.
Running, if you're in martial arts, really any kind of fitness related thing, I think would be considered adverse but good for you.
Yeah, the prolonged endurance though, because
that's true.
Every ultra runner that I've talked to who's been through it, and us here as well, the pain and the suck when you look back, it was like such a blip. Like it's such a blip. Like you look at the next section, oh, I've got 20 miles to the next aid station. And then you're like, oh, that's so far. But then like you look down at your watch and you're like, oh, we've only got 7 left. When did just only 7 become a thing, you know? And it just goes to show, like, when you're in it, if you can just compartmentalize whatever you're in with each step, and it's really hard to understand. Like, you can hear, like, yeah, of course, you're just going to take one step at a time. Like, you don't fully grasp it until you're in it.
Yeah.
And how short one life is and how short that season is of pain, because eventually you find a way out. Now, DNFing is not the right way out, but the right way out is to cross the finish line.
Yeah. Well, that goes back to what I was just saying. Like, neither of us have ever DNF'd an ultra, but that experience, in my opinion, would be just like, I'm going to prolong the suffering. Yeah, you're going to stop the suffering of the race, but then for the rest of your life, you're going to look back and know that you DNF'd that.
Right.
Those 3 letters never go away. It doesn't ever change to a time. Yeah. Or maybe, you're going to do the race next year and actually finish it. But for that whole year, you've got to stare at that and go, no, I know I quit.
Yeah.
Dude, that sucks. That probably sucks more than just sucking through the race and getting it done.
Right.
I mean, obviously people have like medical issues or like injuries that you have to DNF for your own health and to be able to run in the future. Totally get that. But if you just quit because it's hard or because it hurts, you're not helping yourself at all.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's hard and it hurts. You signed up for that. You knew that was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get out there and you're like, no, I can't do this. Well, you can, number one.
Yeah.
And number two, now you got to look at that forever.
Yep.
When if you would have just sucked it up through it, yeah, it would be harder up front. But in the end, like you said, a blip.
Yeah.
You look back, I mean,
time.
We walked for, in total, my 100-miler was 33 hours.
Yeah.
That felt like forever.
Yeah.
Forever. But looking back,
it's just short.
It feels like one night, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't know how many it was. Maybe it was just one night.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it doesn't feel
walking.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it was a big deal.
Right.
Like, I don't know. It's crazy. And then like you said, like we did that and then the 75-miler, I was like, oh, it's just 75 miles.
Yeah.
You know, then you look at the next problem that sounds really big and hard to somebody else and you're like, no, I've conquered more than that.
Yeah.
Like, I know I can do this.
Yep.
So what a mental boost. So like, instead of suffering forever or like dreading what happened and feeling down forever, like, oh man, I quit something. Now you get to take that experience and know, oh yeah, I pushed through the pain. I finished something, or I got past that struggle in life. And now that tool is in my tool belt to equip me for the next hard thing because I already did this.
Yeah.
I know I can.
Right.
It's just, it's such a cool and fulfilling feeling.
Yeah.
I wish everybody could experience that.
Yeah.
And like, that's what we're here doing is promoting this, not necessarily ultra running, do that, but do something hard and get out there and get that feeling of accomplishment and confidence. I guess I call it. Like you can do the hard things. And when something hard comes up, it's okay. You got it.
I've been here before.
Yeah.
I know what this is.
It's familiar.
It's true. We saw that a lot with some of our runners at the punch out.
Yeah.
When they crushed distances they didn't even think. Even my father-in-law, he used to run marathons in his younger years. And he's like, I'm going to do it next year and I'm going to get 7 laps. He said that to me last time I saw him. And I was like, let's do it.
Heck yeah.
And he's like, I have never hurt out of all the marathons I've ran. I've never hurt like that. And I said, it's because it's 8 hours. Have you ever ran a marathon that took you 8 hours to do it? He's like,
no.
Well, no, that would be like
ridiculous.
Everybody's packed up and home in 8 hours after a marathon. And I said, that's why the ultras are special. Is because, you're not running, a sub 3 hour marathon.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's hard. That is hard. I'm not saying I shouldn't even talk as though I know what a marathon is like because I've never ran one, but that's hard. Whereas an ultra that takes 8 hours, you're covering, some guys hit a 50K. I think the farthest we saw was 40 miles in 8 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, that's awesome. But, some people, they got the 27 miles, 28 miles, and they were gassed, like done. Yeah. That's awesome. Like they put forth all their effort and they got it done. They still covered 28 miles in 7 hours.
My segment with Mark on this 200-mile pacing him, I was with him for 21 miles. Guess the time for that 21 miles.
7.
9 hours.
9 hours.
A few minutes, some change.
Just had a lot of elevation.
Yeah, we did. But that's the thing right there is like 9 hours. And you're like, holy crap, man. I can go run a 21 miler on the road. Yeah. In like 3.5 hours or something. But dude.
Yeah.
The time on feet and the time in that suffering or that pain.
Yeah.
That's where the lessons are learned. That's exactly what you're saying. Like you've got to spend the time there, and ultra running is great for that. Yeah. But if ultra running is not your thing, cool. Get in the gym, and if you're used to doing a 30-minute workout, do a 40-minute workout.
Yeah.
If you like to bike or something, then just push yourself a little farther. Go a little slower.
Yeah.
But push yourself farther and just see how long you can endure the pain. You don't have to push yourself to the breaking point. Like these marathoners, like Nate was just talking about, running a sub 3 hour marathon, they are pushing it to the max, and they may not be able to run for another 2 minutes after that.
Yeah.
I mean, they are giving it everything. Dial it back just a little bit and go for longer and see how long you can ride in that painful, sucky part.
Yeah.
That's where the strength is built.
100%. Yeah.
And that's what'll help get you accustomed to these pain points and help you with the transition from home or from work to home, tie this all back together.
Yeah.
Is getting accustomed to that pain and like, hey, it's nothing. I can reset after this. Because after a race or something like that, you're going to experience these same kinds of things, the highs and the lows. Like, you're proud of yourself. You're glad that you just did this.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big accomplishment. But you've also just lost the event on your calendar that you've been looking at for 6 months.
Yeah.
The thing that you've been training for 6 months. The thing that like all your energy and focus has been on for 6 months. And you just feel a little lost.
Yeah, you do. Mm-hmm.
And that's okay. But you have to overcome that. And so doing things like this, whether it be a triathlon, a 5K, an ultra, whatever it is, all those things will help and translate to work stress coming home.
It's true. So you kind of hinted at it, but we have accomplished everything that we had on the calendar for this spring season, and then we immediately put something else on the calendar to look forward to. So
that was my fault.
Not necessarily.
I mean, yeah, a little, mostly.
Well,
I do not like not having something on the calendar, and it's part of what we were just talking about. I like to have something to look forward to, not look forward to necessarily, but like train for and just have something upcoming. Somebody older once told me always have something on the calendar.
Yeah.
They were old, and like their point was when you get old, a lot of times you feel like your life's ending.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
because it is.
It is. Yeah, it is. But like, it's slowly draining, I guess.
Yeah.
And like, their thing was always have something on the calendar because it's always something to look forward to and gives you a purpose, whether it just be for 8 months or whatever. But then you have something else, and it could be something as small as like, I'm going to go to a concert in July.
Yeah.
Something to look forward to, something to live for.
Yeah.
And when you're really old, that matters. But I kind of adopted that principle after they told me that. And I was like, that's a really good way to live in general because it keeps the hope alive or like I don't know. I don't know how else to say it. It just keeps you motivated to like, I'm working for something. I'm going to achieve this goal or I'm going to go on this family trip, whatever.
So what's the thing?
The thing for us is
I'm asking as though I don't know.
I know. I gathered that. So we are partnering up with a nonprofit foundation called Red Flamingo.
Yep.
And their mission is to reduce, ideally end, suicides.
Their motto is redefine next.
Yeah. Redefine next. So you're called to redefine your next step. It doesn't have to be the end. It can be something else.
Yeah.
So yeah, their mission is to end suicides, and we want to partner with them and get their name out there, get that foundation some donations that they can use to support people going through therapy and other therapeutic, I don't know the words, but
get the help that people need.
Other help. Yeah. Anyways, so we're going to do a 60-mile run.
Ish.
60-ish.
60 and change, yeah.
It's maybe a little more. 60-ish mile run from the west coast of Alabama to the east coast of Alabama.
Yep.
On the shortest section of Alabama. So we're not running across the middle of the state.
No.
But we are running from Mississippi to Florida.
Yep.
Across all of Alabama. We do have to take a ferry across a body of water.
It cuts a few miles out.
Yeah. It's either that or swim.
Yeah. I'm not swimming across that pass. Not across that pass.
No. I think we'd probably die in a boat.
I think so.
Boat motor. Anyways, yeah. So that's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah.
We got to start super early in the morning to get to the ferry when they open and then take the ferry across and finish the run in the hot daytime.
Yep.
But we're going to do this. When are we doing this?
We're looking at doing this in June, the first week of June.
Yeah.
I don't have my calendar right in front of me. We will have those exact dates for you.
I think it's the 2nd and 3rd.
2nd and 3rd, yep. So we're going to knock it out in 24 hours, of course. But yeah, it's going to be a great time. Nick, the founder and I guess CEO of the nonprofit, is also going to be there with us. We will have him on the podcast soon as well. We're going to have him on here, hear his story, so you guys can get behind his story, his why, foundation, mission, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But we are looking for sponsorship for this run. All the money and proceeds will be going to Red Flamingo Foundation. You can find them in the description of the show notes as well if you'd like to read up on there. We'll have that attached in the show notes of this episode. But yeah, it's going to be really good. We're going to do like kind of more self-supported. We're going to find marked gas stations and stuff that we can refuel at.
Yep.
It's going to be hot.
It's going to be hot.
And we're going to get through it. And the back half, I've ran some of those road trails.
Yeah. Like paved trails.
They're beautiful.
Bike trails.
Yeah.
Yes, would be a good one.
They're absolutely gorgeous. So I want to make sure that our route goes through some of those state parks that go through there, because it's awesome.
I think the route that I've got mapped right now uses all of those that we can.
Yeah.
Which definitely adds to the mileage, but keeps us off the side of the road.
Yeah.
And running down a way more beautiful path.
Oh, 100%.
So if you guys,
go ahead.
If you guys want to contribute to this, Nate will make sure that we have the link for Red.
I have
for their Red Flamingo nonprofit, so you guys can donate directly to them.
Yep.
If there's a spot to put notes in there, you can put Run Red 26. That's going to be our slogan or hashtag, whatever, for this thing, just so that they know how the money got there.
That's it.
I mean, it doesn't really matter. The money going to them, that's the important part. We just would like to be able to track it a little bit and see how much that we helped raise. We get zero kickback from this.
Zero.
And then we are also going to be launching a website. Or we already have a website, but we're going to be launching apparel on our website. And we're going to launch a t-shirt in collaboration with Red Flamingo. And all the proceeds from those shirts will go directly to Red Flamingo. So if you guys want to support us in that way, you can buy a t-shirt. We might do a hat too. And then, you guys will be able to sport some really cool, awesome gear. And support this mission.
Love it. So that'll be happening the first week of June. Stay tuned with that. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and we're going to start getting into YouTube. That's one of my goals, putting up stuff on YouTube. So so stay tuned with the podcast, guys. Try to find a way to flip your switch. Send us a message. Let us know if this episode meant anything to you guys. We love to hear from you guys. The interaction is great that you guys are hearing what we're talking about. The Run Red 26 we'll be out, and we'll also put up the course. So if you want to join us for a small section of it, feel free. Come on, let's go.
Or the whole thing. Come on.
Or the whole thing. If you want to run the whole thing, we do have to catch the ferry at a certain time. So I guess I would suggest that you just catch the east side of Alabama if you're going to do it.
That will also
logistically
be the better
a whole
side.
lot easier.
That will also be the better side for you to run, because the west side of the bay is like a lot of back roads. With less stuff. But the east side's got stuff everywhere along the beach there.
And more aid accessible spots like gas stations and restaurants and stuff. So I really want a pizza. There's a pizza joint on the way.
Oh, really?
I want to stop and get a slice of pizza.
Nice. Okay.
So
we're going to start this at the just below the interstate on a side road, but at the Mississippi line where there's a Alabama Welcome Center or something. Anyways, we'll start there and ending this at Floribama. Just so you guys know.
That's it. So that's it, guys. That's all we have for you today. We thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode of the Suffer Up podcast. We love you guys. Thank you so much for all your support, and just stay tuned for more happenings. Also, last plug, Punch Out Ultra 2027 is also live on Ultra sign up. You can go to our link tree as well, and it'll take you right there. So we'll see you out there for you return visitors, and anybody that's new, come on out and run it with us. So we love you all. And as always,
suffer up.